Meeting, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular council meeting of Wednesday, March the 5th. Let us begin with a moment of reflection and respect, and I remind everyone that this Saturday is International Women's Day. Thank you. Thank you. Let's move to item 3, confirmation of the agenda, resolution.
That council adopts the agenda for the meeting of March 5th, 2025.
Mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor Barber and Councillor Chapman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Is carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Right. No delegations or public meetings. Item 6, consent agenda resolution.
That the March 5th, 2025 consent agenda be received for information, and that council approves the minutes of the the regular meeting of council held on February 19th, 2025.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Desrosiers and Councillor Rahi. Any discussion? Councillor Desrosiers.
Thank you, Mayor Cookett. One of the questions I have is regarding item 6.3.7, which is the Elmer Police Service Board meeting. I see that resolution number 13-25 regarding the endorsement of the police strategic plan for 2025 to 2028 is on there. I see that online the police have published that. I was just wondering if council is going to be receiving a delegation from them or a presentation from them regarding their strategic plan.
Usually we do have a delegation. I don't know if we've had any notification for that. Have we had any yet?
No.
Oh.
Did you have a follow-up on that, Councillor Desrosiers?
I was just wondering if we haven't received anything, could we perhaps request that as a council?
Sure. Sure, we can do that. Sure. Did you have a comment, Councillor Barber?
Mr. Mayor, I was just going to recommend that we speak to the chief and request a delegation regarding the strategic plan.
Okay, thank you. Just having trouble with this gizmo. Anything else? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? As carried, thank you. Action item 7.1, Director of Financial Services.
That report finance 03-25 entitled 2024 Council Remuneration and Expenses Report be received for information.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Desrosiers and Councillor Chapman. Heather, did you, any comments?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, this is a standard report that is presented to council prior to March 31st every year. I didn't have anything further to add to the report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from council? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Is carried, thank you. Item 7.2, Director of Legislative Services dealing with the AMO conference attendance resolution.
That report clerk 10-25 AMO conference attendance be received for information, and that council approve the attendance at the AMO conference from the members' training and conferences budget with year-end overages being funded through the council initiatives reserve, and that council indicate members blank wish to attend the conference on behalf of the town.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Oslach and Councillor Chapman. As a report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report contains all the information that council needs on this. I know there is interest in attending this conference. The costs associated with the conference are listed in the report. The conference is between August 17th and August 20th, and it is in the city of Ottawa. And if there are any questions of council, I'd be happy to answer them.
Council? Deputy Mayor Barber.
Thank you, Worship. With the consent of council, I would like to attend.
Noted. Councilor Rosier?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would also like to attend the conference. Thank you.
Councilor Chapman?
I would also like to attend.
Good. Thank you. So we have 3 people indicating their desire to attend the conference. One of the reasons that we attend a conference is, of course, to gain new insights about what the municipal world is doing, and also to have the opportunity to talk to ministers of Ontario. So I think it's important that we develop in the next few councils some kind of formal delegation system whereby we set up what delegations we would like to have. And it's important that, you know, the town supports all of these delegations and that we all attend them that are going to the conference. So in the coming councils, we will ask you for your input, I guess, in terms of what kinds of delegations you would like to see and which ministers you would like to see. And I'm sure the staff will have their own ideas on what we should do. So I'm very pleased to see 3 people attending. I'm not sure whether I will be yet or not. Hopefully I will, but I don't know. Okay, anything else? Very good. All those in favor? There's carried. Thank you. Item 7.3, Elmer Community Festival, request for exemption. We don't have a resolution really, except that council provide direction to staff regarding the correspondence item. Let's put that on the table, though. I'll have a mover and seconder to put direction to staff, Councilor Rosier and Councilor Rahi. Is there anyone on staff that wants to speak to this? I don't know if you would, because we're asking for direction. Did you want to speak to it, Andy?
Oh, sorry. Forgot. I certainly can. Certainly, staff are willing, certainly to look at this. I talked to Susie about this earlier this week, and she would like the opportunity to present a report and just discuss with our insurer first to present information and just to make sure that council makes, you know, a fully informed decision, whichever way you decide to go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would support that recommendation. I would also ask that staff perhaps consult neighboring municipalities. From speaking to other municipalities myself, basically every municipality surrounding us does allow this to a certain degree. They obviously probably have their own safeguards in place, but I would like to look at comparables to see what differences those municipalities or what policies they have in place to allow activities such as this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of having staff, I guess the direction to staff is to present a report. So do we need to change the resolution?
The resolution would read that staff, or that council provide direction to staff to present a report
Okay.
regarding exemption to inflatable activities.
So we have moved and seconded that already. Did you have a further comment, Councillor Barber?
Just clarification, are we asking staff just for a report on, just for clarification, do we need to push this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we need to push it or not push it. Are we asking staff for just just a report on the exemption? Or are we going to look at this as a whole as to whether we allow inflatables or not? Because my only concern is we allow an exemption to one organization, but then we have other agencies like Elmer Minor Ball that weren't able to, they were told they weren't allowed to. So my preference would be either we allow it or we don't allow it and we don't do exemptions. So I would recommend, like, can we look at, are we going to allow it as a whole for everybody if they follow whatever we need to put in place? Or we just don't allow it at all? That's
And
my
it makes sense, I
recommendation.
think.
Through you, I think that was the intention, was to give council at least a preliminary broad understanding that will allow you to determine whether or not you want to the risks and liabilities and whether or not you want to go down that route for all groups, I guess.
Is that fine with everybody then? That's part of the understanding of the resolution. Very well. All right, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Item 7.4, CAO follow-up on dog park resolution.
That report CAO 13-25 respecting follow-up dog park review be received for information, and that council direct staff to proceed with consultation upon the dog park locations as outlined in report CAO 13-25.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Rahi and Councillor Rosier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is a follow-up report resulting from direction from council on January 8th. The intent here is to try to review the potential to accommodate a dog park in an existing park location. Staff are suggesting 3 sites, with the leader kind of being Optimist Park. All of these locations are considered somewhat rough in terms of the mix of terrain, elevations, and potential issues on site. In the report on the attachments, you can see some very draft potential layouts for them. They're very draft, but we did want to provide you with an idea and also potentially start to refine the cost. This would obviously be kind of a bare minimum. It doesn't include things like a 10 or 15% project contingency, which we would include in all capital calculations. The intent, though, would be to further refine cost if council wants to further examine after you get the public input. So kind of a staged process. A draft survey is attached. Staff believe that public input is quite important. It's not common for municipalities to repurpose parkland for an off-leash dog park unless there's a large buffer zone from existing residences. So it's important to get some data to assist council in assessing if they want to proceed and where it should go. And we're also looking to gather a bunch of other data that will help us help council decide what the design or amenities you may or may not want at a park should be. And with that, I'll try my best to answer any questions of council.
Council. Councillor Rahi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think the complex is a fantastic spot, but I think if we're going to keep it on the list of potential places, I think we should talk to our partners at that location before we keep considering it, because maybe they don't want it. So I think that's a good spot to start with, that location, and I do think it is the best one out of the 3. Thank you.
I think you're quite right, and you certainly would, would be talking to our partners there. Councillor Oslodge. Is your mic on? Right.
I forgot to push it. So, Your Worship, I'd like to report on Optimist Park. There's the park is a central location in Aylmer.
Councillor Desrosiers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I like the approach that staff have for consulting the public and seeing what the public have to say. I obviously have my own personal favorite, but I am truly interested to see what the public's perception of this project is. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I think the intent of the motion is not really to decide on a location tonight, but rather to have us go forward with the survey. That's correct. So basically, that's what we want to do. And then the next report, report on the results of the survey, and we can decide what we're going to do next, right? Did you have a question, Councillor Chapman? Okay.
I think on the survey, it should also, on the survey, I would, through you, Your Worship, I would request that there be questions involving its accessibility to all.
Anything else? Councillor Barber, Deputy Mayor Barber, rather.
Thank you, Your Worship. I had suggested a location that didn't make the cut. I was wondering if further consideration could be given to that. because it meets the criteria of the lands of the other spot. It's already fenced on 3 sides, and it's in an industrial area. That being the northeast corner of Beach and Elm.
Anyone else? Don't see anyone else having any. You can adjust the survey to include those kinds of things, or we have some issues with that?
Certainly, just looking here, we could, I'm sure we could develop a design for that one. We haven't done much analysis on that one to present to the public, though. We may have to do the same type of analysis that we did on the other one, but we could certainly develop that and maybe circulate a revised survey and that option at the, I'm trying to think, maybe in 2 weeks at the next council meeting, and then post the survey? Would that satisfy council to make the adjustments?
Satisfy council? Do that. So what you're saying is that you're, at the next council, you would include another area that Deputy Mayor Barber has talked about and come back to council, but the survey will not go out at all until council has another look at these areas?
So I think it will be kind of important to have the maps available and so that everybody could look at it. We could do a draft one, but it hasn't, because of the site layout, we and the limited parking there, we didn't do a full analysis of it, like the other sites. So adding the site, we can do it. I just think council may want us to expand the 3 sites to 4 and bring it back here for review. Or we can get council direction just to include it as a potential location as well. It's up to council.
Councilor Crozier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think just for efficiency, I think there's nothing wrong with just pushing it forward unless there's council members here that have any objections, but I would suggest either that, or could we even just circulate an email, like not quorum, but just individually to make sure everyone's okay and then proceed? Like, is there a way to fast track it?
Through you, yeah, I'm sure we can, later this week, I'm sure we could probably put together a little design for that and a rough costing on it. Again, it's a site that I don't believe there's parking available, which I think was a reason in the weird kind of layout of the site. So I don't know if it would be a high recommendation, but if council wants to keep it included in the listing, then we can. We definitely can, and we can circulate that information to council, similar to what we've done on the other sites, and circulate it so council's aware. And then when the next report comes forward, we can cover it in more detail so that the public is aware if it gets bumped up of any issues with the site.
I guess the idea that Councilor Crozier, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, wants to see this move forward as quickly as possible so that we don't waste any more time in having another council meeting, right? So you're suggesting that if we send it out to councilors, you can gather that information, and then you can go ahead and release the survey, basically before the next council meeting. Are people happy with that kind of situation? I don't see anybody saying no or wringing their hands or anything like that. All right. So the survey itself will be available how? Online, basically?
Yes, we're going to utilize the Survey Monkey to get the survey out.
Great. Okay, so we have a number of suggestions here. Did you include those in? So if you kind of read out what we have so far, right?
That report CAO 13-25 respecting follow-up dog park review be received for information, and that council directs staff to proceed with consultation upon the dog park locations as outlined in report CAO 13-25, and is outlined in discussion with council.
All right, so I think we're happy with that. All right, so I'll just call the question. I see some frowns, but I just want to make sure. All right, okay. Councillor Chapman, right.
Okay, I don't see anything in the survey about accessibility, and that is a big concern of mine. So I don't know if it should be added to the survey or where it should fit in, but to have a dog park that someone in a wheelchair or walker wouldn't be able to access, if you're going to do it, you have to do it so it's accessible. So that's my concern.
So we can add some questions in the survey concerning accessibility, and we'll add that to we add that to the motion right now. Okay, as one of the specific recommendations. I don't think we need an amendment here. I don't want to go through with that. But you understand, we have the accessibility plus an additional site. Okay. Any others? No more frowns? Okay. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. New business and matters of urgency. Reading of laws and proceedings thereon. Bylaws.
That council gives 3 readings to and approves bylaw 18-25, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at the regular council meeting held on February 19th, 2025.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Chapman and Deputy Mayor Barber. Questions, discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor? As carried, thank you. Inquiries by members. Statements and committee reports by members. Councillor Chapman.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to say thank you to whoever sent the lovely flowers in representation of International Women's Day, which is on Saturday. So thank you, whoever sent them.
Anyone else? Councillor Barber.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to announce that the Police Service Board has concluded negotiations with the Police Association. So we have a contract that runs through to the end of 2026. And it's still, as mentioned previously, it keeps us as one of the lowest, if not the lowest cost municipal service in Ontario. So with the quality service we get, we're pretty proud of that and we're happy to move forward.
Anyone else? Councillor Rosier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to begin by extending my heartfelt congratulations to MPP Rob Flack on his recent re-election. Over the course of this term of council, I've had the privilege of working closely with Minister Flack, and I'm looking forward to continuing our collaborative efforts to advocate for the needs of Aylmer and the Elgin-Middlesex-London riding. His dedication to our region is truly commendable, and I am eager to see the positive impact we can make together moving forward. Additionally, this past weekend, Mayor Cookett and I had the honor of attending MP Karen Vecchio's retirement celebration. I would like to take this moment to express my sincere gratitude to Karen for her exceptional service over the past decade. Throughout this term of council, Karen has been an invaluable mentor to me, and her leadership has had a profound and lasting impact on our community. I wish her all the best as she embarks on the next chapter of her life. A few weeks ago, I had the privilege of speaking with students at a local public school about our role as municipal leaders. This was a wonderful opportunity to engage with young minds, educate them about the importance of civic participation, and inspire them to be active contributors to their communities. I firmly believe that fostering this kind of awareness is vital to developing the leaders of tomorrow. Thursday, I had the pleasure of hosting a storytime session at our local library for preschool children. It was an enjoyable and fulfilling experience to read to these young learners and engage with them on the responsibilities and joys of being an elected official. Their enthusiasm and curiosity were truly heartwarming and reminded me of the importance of nurturing a sense of civic responsibility from an early age. And lastly, in honor of International Women's Day, today I had the privilege of presenting to the female students and faculty at East Elgin Secondary School. It was an incredibly inspiring experience to spend time with such a passionate and driven group of women. During my presentation, I shared insights of my own journey in leadership. This experience reaffirmed the vital role of mentorship and the importance of supporting and encouraging young women as they pursue their dreams and aspirations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, report of the mayor. I don't have a large report, and I don't report on all the stuff that I attended, but I would like to comment on Karen Vecchio's retirement. Certainly, Karen has been a great supporter of this area, and I've known Karen since 2010. And with all apologies to Joe Preston, she started working for Joe Preston, but at the beginning of her career with Joe, I actually thought her name was Joe Preston, because she would always be there and Joe would not. So she's quite a woman. So thank you, Karen, for everything you've done. Are there any notices of motion? Yeah, Councillor Desrosiers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the Old Town Hall is a designated historic building, a, quote, grand example of Italianate architecture, quote, that is integral to the culture and life of our community that requires significant repairs to ensure its continued use and preservation. And whereas the Elk Street project has come in $2,309,442 under budget, resulting in available funds within the municipal capital budget. And whereas these savings provide an opportunity to allocate funds for the urgent repairs needed at Old Town Hall, as reported in the IRC report of 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Aylmer review and discuss the recommended repairs to the Old Town Hall. Be it further resolved that the Council directs staff to bring forward a plan to reallocate savings from the Elk Street project to fund the repairs to Old Town Hall as recommended by the facility assessment and reports. Be it finally resolved that Council prioritize the timely repair and preservation of Old Town Hall using these available funds, ensuring that this community asset is maintained for all future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. And you are bringing that at the next council. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay. Meeting closed to the public, resolution.
That council moves into a meeting closed to the public at 7:26 PM to discuss the following matters. Chief Administrative Officer memo, Human Resources complaint, and that consideration of this item is closed to the public pursuant to Section 239(2)D of the Municipal Act as amended, as the subject matter pertains to labor relations or employee negotiations.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Desrosiers and Councillor Barber. All those in favor? And carried. Be a brief recess, and we will move into closed. We have a resolution and closed.
That council rise from a meeting closed to the public at 7:41 PM and reports the following, that council received for information Chief Administrative Officer memo regarding human resources complaint.
Mover and seconder, Counselor Chapman and Counselor Deputy Mayor Barber. Appointment there. Good. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Move motion to adjourn.
That council do now adjourn at 7:42 PM.
Mover and seconder, Counselor Desrosiers and Counselor Barber. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.